Hey everybody, it's Angel Johnson back here again with more parenting. Today is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to do an old school rant. But before I get to that, let me make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Right now, I'm having a free giveaway. So when I hit 50 subscribers, when me and my daughter Zatara hit 50 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away some all natural oil based conditioner. It works for all hair types and it's 100% organic from www.angelicbeautyproducts.com. Angelic is spelled with two L's. So, with that being said, I'm going to get into this old school rant. And what is the old school rant about? It's about a situation that arose between my daughter and her old school that she went to last school year. It was some drama, but it's cool because I got all the receipts. So at the end of the day, the conclusion, I'm going to skip way ahead and give you the conclusion. The conclusion is don't mess with Angel and don't mess with my child. So let's get started. So here's the thing. The school is called Texas Serenity Academy. It's here in Houston, Texas. Last year, my daughter and I moved out here. We moved out here in July. School, starts usually sometime in August. So I had like a month to unpack, get us settled into the house, and get her enrolled in school. I consider myself to be somewhat of a responsible parent. So even in researching different schools, I made sure to go to like the school's website and kind of familiarize myself with their rules and regulations and parent handbook and different things like that. So I enrolled her in this school. It's considered a public charter school. And like I said, I went to the website, started the school year, everything's fine. In February, right now I'm just giving you the backstory so I can kind of progress ahead and you kind of know what I'm talking about. So anyway, in February, my daughter didn't attend for 3 days in a row. The first day I had a doctor's appointment. The second day was her birthday. The third day she had a doctor's appointment. The teacher called and said, we're concerned about Z. Is she okay? I'm like, yeah, she's okay. I had a doctor's appointment. She had her birthday. She had a doctor's appointment. She'll return to school on Monday. Cool. Boom. That's it. Then in April, as you know, if you don't know, you can look it up. There was a really severe flood in Houston. And our neighborhood in particular was one of the neighborhoods that was like hugely impacted. And we had water literally up to my waist, and I'm like 5'9", so I'm sort of tall. And it was up to my waist. That's how high the waters were. So with that being said, no one could come in and out. Whole families were displaced. They had evacuation shelters and stuff for families where they had to spend like days at those evacuation shelters and things like that. No one could go in or out. So needless to say, many kids were not attending school. My daughter did not attend school for about a week and a half. That's when we were able to get her out of the neighborhood. So other than that, into May, I had a brain surgery, and it was pretty last minute when I found out. Like, I found out on a Friday in the afternoon that I was having brain surgery Monday afternoon, like the following Monday. So when they told me I was having my brain surgery Monday, sped down to my daughter's school, Texas Serenity Academy, talked to their secretary or whatever she wants to be or whatever. Her name is Miss Bowman. And I talked to her and I told her, I'm having surgery on Monday. And I'm going to have to be on bed rest for 2 weeks. So obviously, like, I'll be limited in some of the things I can do physically. So Zatara is going to stay home with me. And she's like, okay, well, if she needs to attend summer school or anything like that, we'll let you know. And I'm like, okay, so you will let me know. How will you let me know? Okay, by phone or by mail. Cool. Phone or mail. All right. So, and the thing is that it just so happened that my bed rest ended. The last day of bed rest was the same day as the last day of school, June 3rd. That was when my bed rest was done and school was done. So she wasn't returning to school anymore that year. So All right. If she needs summer school, I'll get a phone call or mail. Cool. Fast forward to June 27th. I haven't heard anything from the school. I'm the type of person, I give grace. Like, I don't know. I was raised in California, so I don't know like how long it's supposed to be before I receive her report card. If maybe they're taking a little bit longer to send me her report card because she wasn't there the last 2 weeks. So maybe there's some extra like information they need to put in her report card or something. So I'm like, let me give them a little bit of grace and the benefit of the doubt that they're going to send it. So, and obviously she doesn't need to go to summer school because I haven't heard anything about summer school. So I called the guy who at the beginning of the school year said he was the superintendent, but then come to find out he was actually the assistant superintendent, Mr. Jenkins. I called him and said, I haven't received anything about my daughter. Can I get her a copy of her report card? Like, when are they going to be sent out? And he's like, well, they were already sent out. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get it, so I'm going to need a copy of it. Then he also said she's not passing to the 3rd grade. Hold up. Wait. wait. What? She's not what? Okay, she's not passing to the 3rd grade. And so he says it's not because of her report card, because her academics are stellar. She's always been an exemplary student. But she missed too many days of school. So he's telling me she would have had to attend summer school, but summer school is almost over. And I'm like, okay, well, what happened to me receiving a phone call or a piece of mail saying that she needed to go to summer school? How am I supposed to send her somewhere if I don't know if she's supposed to go? So he says that they sent me a notice for her to go to summer school. So I'm like, I didn't receive it. Okay. So he sends me this email, and I'm telling you, it was June 27th. Why? Because I have the proof. I have the receipts. It's right here where it says Monday, June 27th. I don't want to show you all they business and all they emails, but it does say, let me fold it. It does say Monday, June 27th. He sent me an email. Now look here, if I can get you to see it. Where does it say? Yeah, I want you to examine this part. What is this in court called like Exhibit A or something? Exhibit A, it says here, if you can see, it says she missed 31 days of school. In that email on June 27th, she missed 31 days of school. It says that 4 of those days were excused and 27 were unexcused. Now, keep in mind, all throughout the school year, while she was going to her doctor's appointments, she was turning in doctor's notes. She was accompanying me on my doctor's appointments. We were turning in those doctor's notes. No one throughout the school year, Miss Bowman, the secretary or whatever, whoever she is, no one, the school secretary, never said the doctor's notes for Angel, for mine, where she came with me, are not accepted. No one ever said that during the school year. We're coming in, bringing notes. Oh, she came with me to my doctor's appointment today. Blah, 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 blah. No one says, by the way, we don't accept it because it wasn't her doctor's appointments, but you want to tell me that on June 27th. Okay. So, what is the next thing on my list? That's his email. Yep, I gave the secretary notice. I was on bed rest. Okay, his email says 31 days. In his email, he sends me a PDF copy of the report card. So let me just share this. I want to take out the important information or private information. But here, if you can see her grades, where is it? Her grades in this section here, the lowest grade she has is a 77, and that's in math. All the other grades are 90 and above. So this is a straight A student with 1 C. So she met the instructional requirements. Now, item B, let me fold out my address because y'all don't need to know that. Here's the PDF. He sent me a PDF on that same email on June 27th, a PDF of the supposed alleged summer school notice that I allegedly received but didn't. So here it's basically saying that, yeah, she's attending summer school for attendance. I don't see a signature on it, nothing like that. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is not proof that I received it. Okay. So after I received his email, I sent him an email. What I did is I went back to the website because as a responsible parent, I can see the school trying to throw it up in my face. Oh, well, the information that she couldn't use your doctor's notes is on the website, blah, 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 right? So I could see them trying to throw that in my head, but at me. But at the same time, I did look at the website, and here's my proof. Your website, this is my letter in response to my email letter in response to his email letter. So in my letter, it says, it quotes their website and it gives the link, and I will leave you the link at the bottom. I'll leave the link down there. It says regular daily attendance is required of all students. Students are expected to be present and on time except in the case of an emergency or mental illness, and you must have a doctor's excuse. Does it say the doctor's excuse have to be for the student in the student's name? No. Does it say that the dental appointment or doctor's appointment or whatever has to be their appointment? No. Does it say students using their parents' doctor's notes because they accompanied their parents on a doctor's appointment can't use that? That won't be excused, anything like that? No. So, I mean, for me, to be honest with you, a lot of people might be wondering, why did you have your daughter come with you on your doctor's appointments? Well, because I knew that all my doctor's appointments, these were appointments that were like preliminary appointments before my brain surgery. So I knew the brain surgery was coming. And that's a lot. And it was very emotional for me. And I just wanted some emotional support. And who's closer to me than my daughter? She's the closest person on this earth to me, and I wanted her there. Anyway, so what's the other thing? One more thing. In addition to her birthday, our doctor's appointments, my bed rest, and the Texas flood, she also missed several days because of their buses. Texas Serenity Academy's buses had issues. There were multiple days, I would say at least 3 days, where their bus literally broke down and my daughter was outside for an hour waiting on the bus to pick her up. On those days, I said, you know what? Screw it. Stay home. Because I could not be late for work. So I'm like, you just gonna have to stay home today. There were other days where they had a substitute driver, and she was outside for 2 hours. She's staying home. There were other days I think it was the same substitute driver. They have a route, right? And she's along the bus route. He decided out of nowhere, without notifying the parents or asking the parents if this was cool or nothing. He decided he was going to pick them up from 2 locations. And not only was he going to pick them up from only 2 locations, but those 2 locations were not on the route. And he was picking them up like 45 minutes early. So for example, to highlight what I'm saying, my daughter is usually picked up in front of our house at between 6:10 and 6:15. He said the closest location out of those 2, the closest location to us was about 20 minutes away. And instead of it being 6:10 or 6:15, he was going to pick her up at 5:30 a.m. Let me tell you something. My daughter is not going anywhere at 5:30 in the morning. The only time in life, she's 8. In the last 8 years, the only time in the last 8 years, my daughter has been traveling somewhere at 5:30 in the morning has been when we were taking road trips to go visit my mama, and my daughter was asleep. And after the road trip ended, the only expectation of her or on her was to have fun with her nana. But you're not going to wake my daughter up, have her somewhere at 5:30, and then expect her to go to school and be well behaved and pay attention in class. I can't even do that. Like, no. What? She's 8. Why would she need to wake up at 5:30 in the morning because your substitute driver wants to only pick up from 2 locations? No, no, and no. So in the email that I wrote them, I also reminded them of what the website said about the school buses. So the website says, and I'll leave this link below, the website says, Texas Serenity Academy offers free bus transportation for all students who live within our transportation zone. We have a fleet of 9 school buses and 1 shuttle bus. Does it say if our bus is late, then it's the parent's responsibility to take the child to school? It doesn't say that. Does it say if we have a substitute driver who leaves your child waiting outside for 2 hours that you need to, it's the parent's responsibility to take the kid to school? It doesn't say that. Does it say that if the parent doesn't take off work to take their child to school because our substitute driver wants to pick the kids up 20 minutes away from your house at 5:30 in the morning, then the parent has to take time off work to take the kid to school? No, it doesn't say that. Does it say that if our bus breaks down, then it's the parent's responsibility to take off work and stop what they're doing to pick their kid up from school? It doesn't say that either. It's right here. I just read it. It doesn't say anything like that. It doesn't say anything like it's the parent's responsibility because our buses break down often. It don't say that. So what's my next thing? Because I know I always am short on time. So after I sent them that email in response to his email, we set up a placement committee meeting, which was on July 14th. So I talked to him June 27th. He sent the email on June 27th. I responded back to him, and then we had the placement committee meeting on July 14th. And the placement committee is basically where school officials, which included Assistant Superintendent Jenkins and actual superintendent, I can't talk, Hagman Simmons? His name is Hagman Simmons. Maybe that accounts for some of his behavior. Anyway, so in that meeting, first and foremost, they wouldn't let me speak because when I speak, I actually speak with good sense and rationale. And I actually know a lot about the law. I'm not a lawyer, but I know a lot about the law and what you can and cannot do. So for those reasons, they didn't let me talk, because when someone makes sense and is rational and completely reasonable and legal, you kind of want to tune them out, especially if you're unprepared. So they talked over me every time I opened my mouth. They wouldn't let me speak, but that was cool because it really ended up working out in my favor because Mr. Jenkins lied. Mr. Jenkins said, oh, I never sent you an email saying that she missed 31 days, which is funny because I have copies of the email from your email address highlighted where it says she missed 31 days. So it's funny that you would say, I never said anything about 31 days. I never said anything about 31 days. And I'll tell you the reason that he lied. The reason that he lied and said that he never said anything about 31 days is because at this very same meeting, they handed me this, which is a copy of their student data report that says she missed 49 days. I know you can't read it there, but it's highlighted here. It says she missed 49 days. And they wanted her to have missed 49 days because then certain laws wouldn't apply to her situation, right? Because the law is very specific. For example, there's a law that I'll read to you in a moment that says if they miss between 75 and 90% of school attendance days and they met but they meet the instructional requirements, then they can go ahead and pass the child. They obviously didn't want to pass the child, even though passing the child would be in the child's best interest. And we know that it would be in the child's best interest because she met the instructional requirements. Anyway, Mr. Jenkins said he never said she missed 31 days. His email says that she missed 31 days. They handed me this thing that says she missed 49 days, which is complete rubbish because I actually documented throughout the school year. I documented when she missed and why she missed. Actually, let me get this. Yes, I documented why she missed school. So she missed school. They said they excused for I can't talk. They excused 4 of her doctor's notes that are in her name. So that's 4 days. So that's 20. So she actually missed 27 unexcused days is what he said in his email. Okay. But then I know she missed her birthday. And that's when the teacher called. By the way, at this meeting, at the placement committee meeting, the teacher, I told them, I said, you guys never gave me notice of how many throughout the school year, how many days she did miss compared to how many days she could miss. Like, you guys never sent me anything in the mail. So how are you going to, at the end of the school year, say, oh, well, she has to go to summer school because she missed all these days? Like, why wasn't there ever anything given to me saying, your daughter has missed 5 days. She's only allowed to miss 10, or she has to go to summer school. They never gave me that. But the teacher's response was, well, remember that time in February that I called you and said she missed 3 days? Yeah, you called me. Exactly what you just said, what just came out of your mouth. You called me and said she missed 3 days. That's not the same as saying she missed 3 days out of however many she can miss or whatever. So it's like, it's BS, right? So actually my daughter's going to be getting home from school soon, so I got to wrap this up. So she also missed my preliminary doctor's appointment. She missed my bed rest days. My mom left for Thanksgiving. She came and visited, and she got back on the plane. My daughter was all distraught and sad and crying, and so I let her miss that day. And my mom then after that moved to Houston, and so we missed like 1 day from helping my mom move in. At that same meeting, they handed me this, which is from like their parent handbook. They didn't read it, apparently, because it says, and I highlighted it here. They didn't let me talk because they knew I made too much sense. It says here in the thing that they handed me in the meeting. It says the teacher, principal, or superintendent of the school in which a student is enrolled may excuse the temporary absence of a student for any reason acceptable to the teacher, principal, or superintendent. This says you can pass my daughter. Now, in the meeting, they were saying the whole time, we can't pass her. Our hands are tied. She's a wonderful student, and we know she met the instructional requirements, but we can't pass her. There's nothing we can do. But the thing you hand me at the meeting says it's up to y'all. See, that's why y'all won't let me talk, because I can read. Anyway, I can read in different ways, baby. I can read, and I can read. Anyway, so let me go back to my notes. The placement committee meeting, he gave me something that said 49 days, but in his email it said 31 days. And the reason I wanted to go back to that, the reason there's a discrepancy in the 49 days and in the 31 days is because, let me find it. Give me just a second. I'm almost done with this video. Don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, it's in there. That's why. Back to my email that I sent him on the 27th of June, where I actually stated the state of Texas Education Agency, which is pretty much the Texas School Board. It says in Texas Education Code section 25.092A pertaining to public charter schools, a student who is in attendance for at least 75% but less than 90% of the days classes offered must be given credit or a final grade for the class that provides for the student to meet the instructional requirements of the class. And basically what that's saying is that if the student meets the instructional requirements and their attendance falls between 75% and 90%, that if they miss the days missed, are between set. They went to school. They attended between 75 and 90%. Then it's up to the school's discretion to pass them if they met the instructional requirements. My daughter met the instructional requirements. The 31 days that he sent me falls between that 75 and 90%. Oh, but at the meeting, there was no 31 days. It was 49 days. I never said anything about 31 days because 49 days does not fall between the 75 and 90%. And I got to wrap this up, but I am going on this rant and all this to say that the bottom line is I felt that they were not acting in the students' best interest. This is not about me and the school. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's not about Mr. Jenkins. It's not about Mr. Bowman. It's not about Hagman. I feel like I need to say it like that. Hagman. I don't know why. Hagman. Hagman. He's a black man. Hagman. Anyway, it's not about that. It should be about the student. This is a student that, although she missed 31 days due to floods and the buses and the bed rest and her birthday and stuff, if she missed 31 days and still got A's, except for 1 C in math, still got A's, don't you think it's in her best interest to just pass her? Like, seriously, you just pass her to the 3rd grade? Now, the situation was rectified. Here's the resolution. The resolution is I put a gag order on the school. You can look it up. I'll try to remember to leave a link down below, but if I can't remember, it's F as in Frank, ERP as in Paul, A. And it's basically, that's my alarm to go get my daughter. Hold on. By the way, like my dress is from Sammy Dress. Anyway, just throw that in there. SammyDress.com. Anyway, so I think it's in her best interest. The situation was resolved because I went and found another law. FERPA, FERPA. I forgot exactly what it stands for. But it's like a federal law protecting parents and students' private information. So basically, I put a gag order on Texas Serenity Academy saying that if you cannot release any of me or my daughter's information without my written express permission with my signature. So what I did is I went to a new school, met with the principal of the new school, showed her my daughter's report card that says she got all A's and 1 C. And I was forthcoming with her and told her, I had problems with her last school. They didn't want to pass her to the 3rd grade because I had brain surgery and they said she missed too many days. Would you be willing to accept her for the 3rd grade? The lady looked at my daughter's report card and looked at my daughter and said, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put her in the 3rd grade advanced class. So that's how the situation worked out. And I asked the new principal, do you need to contact them for anything? Because I don't know if they're going to try and badmouth me or what. Because this almost went to court. And she says, no, as long as all I need from them is her report card, receipts, proof. Anyway, so they have, at this point, they have no legal right to say anything about me or my daughter without my written permission. And I have that in an email too. Look up FERPA if you want to find more information about that. I'm going to try and leave as many links to prove my point as I can. And I just think it's unfortunate that for some reason they didn't want my daughter to pass to the 3rd grade. Like, why? Why? How is that? How can that be argued in any court of law in America that this student that has exemplary academic performance consistently shouldn't go to the 3rd grade because because a flood and because her mom was on bed rest? Like, come on now, seriously? That's ridiculous. And then even if you look at the laws, they all say it's up to your discretion. So how is it that you're at this meeting talking about we can't do anything? Yeah, you can. You could have just easily said, okay, fine. She met the academic standards. We'll pass her. And not only was that a missed opportunity, but it was also a missed opportunity that they could have told me, on the low or whatever, hey, if you take her to a different school next year, you can put her in third grade because you have her report card that says she's a good student. So if you just go and show them the report card, you know what I mean? They could have, like, I'm honestly, the day I went to the new school and enrolled her with that principal, I was about to take them to, I was about to file charges or a case the next day. I decided not to because the situation resolved itself. Thank God. Prayer works for real because I was in prayer. But it was to that point where I was about to have to go in front of the school board, take them to court because, again, no judge, based off of the facts and the actual statutes, no judge is going to say, hold her back. So I say all of this to say this is a rant. And how is it relating to my parenting channel? It relates to my parenting channel because I think that there's certain times where we need to fight for our children. I think that people do judge books by their cover. So if you're of a certain demographic, or if you live in a certain neighborhood, maybe people misjudge you that maybe you're uneducated, don't know how to do research, don't know how to read, because they obviously don't know how to read. But I do know how to read, and I know how to read very well, thank you. And I know how to research very, very well. And I am not the type of person to look for fights, but if it's something that's affecting my daughter and her education, then that's something I will definitely fight for, especially if I know that that I and my daughter are in the right. We did nothing wrong. I went and had surgery. I did not receive anything in the mail. Period. Period. Point blank. This is not a child that needs to repeat the second grade. Period. Point blank. So other than that, I'm going to go get my daughter. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please leave a comment if there's any questions you have, if you're going through anything or have went through anything with your child's school. And if you know any other routes of maybe how this could have been handled better by me or by them, I'm not above reproach. I can be corrected sometimes. I don't feel like I was wrong. I feel like I did all that I could on behalf of my child. So it's a learning process. It's a learning process. And with that, let me go get her and be blessed. See you next Thursday.